name is Lainey. This is my mom. I'm going to lead you through a little bit of a stretch today just to get our bodies still moving during our little quarantine. Okay, so we're going to start with a basic stretch that I'd like to do every day. This is a good stretch for if you spend a lot of your day sitting, which I know a lot of us are doing right now. So we're starting just like my mom was showing you, one leg in and one leg out. Doesn't matter which side. And you're going to lift the hand of the same side as your bent leg. Okay, so we're going to lift up. You're going to reach up, up, up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to bend over and reach towards your toes on your extended leg side. Okay?
Should my leg be at an angle?
Yeah. Leg should be at an angle. So you should feel this stretch in your side here, your intercostal muscles, and also your hamstring underneath here. Okay, so if you want to feel it more in your intercostals, you're going to take your upper shoulder and you're going to roll it back. Yep, beautiful. And just reach towards your toesies. We're going to stay here. I like to hold stretches at least for 30 seconds, if not longer, just because that's how long it takes for your muscles to actually relax. All right, now when we want to come out of this, we don't want to come up, we want to roll forward first until we're at center, and then we're going to push up. That just protects our intercostal muscles that have just been really stretched out. We don't want to just immediately use them because you could injure our back. Okay, we're going to do the other side now. Good, straight ya. Okay, we're reaching up, 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 same bent leg side, and over. Fabulous. Now, with all of our stretches, you want to think about breathing into the space that's being stretched. So you're going to take a nice deep breath in, into that space, and when you breathe out, you're going to relax into the stretch a little bit more. If I want to increase the stretch in my hamstring, I just point my toe a little bit. And we're going to move forward. And walk up. Beautiful. Okay. Now we're going to do a straddle stretch. So come and face me. Yeah, beautiful. So we're just straddling as wide as we can comfortably. Okay. So both legs extended this time. And we're going to walk our hands forward as far as we can comfortably. Get out of your way. Don't try to overstretch yourself. You always want to just stretch as far as you can at that time of the day, on that day. Don't push yourself because that's how you injure yourself. You just want to give yourself a nice little relaxing stretch. All right, and you're gonna walk yourself back. Okay, we're gonna do a fire log stretch. So that's gonna stretch our glutes and our hip flexors. So I'm gonna face you. Can you face, yeah, me, so that we can kind of have a side by side. Okay, so you're gonna put one, ankle right on top of your knee, and then you want your knee stacked over your ankle on the other side. Come towards me, beautiful. So the goal is to get this knee to touch your ankle, okay? If you're not there, that's fine. Just take a breather. Keep your and try to put just light pressure on that knee. Trying to push it down. Nothing super intense, okay? If you can get all the way down, you can take a deep breath in and lean forward with a flat back. You should feel a stretch out here, right? My mom's a little bit sore in her hip flexor because we did some balance training yesterday, so it's a good stretch for you.
I'll do this one in yoga.
Yeah, Firelog. Probably got a Sanskrit name also, I just don't know it.
I always call it the campfire stretch, but fire log sounds more likely.
Okay, we're gonna release, we're gonna switch sides. So just switch the foot that's on top, or leg, I should say. Gently put our hand on our knee. Yep, beautiful. And lean forward if you feel comfortable doing so. Don't forget to be breathing into those muscles that are tight, that we're stretching. Nice deep breath in, and on your exhale, relax further into the stretch. Okay, look up. Okay, now we're gonna do a quad stretch, okay? I just did my daily workout routine and I did a bunch of squats, so I want to stretch out my quads. So we're gonna have one leg straight and one leg bent. I'm gonna go sideways so you can sort of see like this, beautiful, okay? And what we're gonna do is you're just gonna lean back onto your hands and squeeze your glute and push your hip up towards the ceiling. You should feel a stretch in your quad here right in front. If you're not feeling enough of a stretch, you can lean further back. So you can lay down onto the ground all the way, or on your elbows, whatever's most comfortable. For me, if I get to my elbows, that's about right. And I'm still continuing to squeeze my glute and push up towards the ceiling. How does that feel for you? Feel it? Okay. While she's doing that, I'm going to show you a slightly more advanced version of this stretch because I know some of you can do this. It's just kind of an easy camel pose. So what we're going to do is get on our knees, put our hands behind our back like so, and we're going to lift our hips. That way you're stretching both quads at the same time. It's a little bit more intense, and you're not twisting your knees quite as much. Again, I'm squeezing my glutes to press, to encourage my quads to stretch. And you're going to switch sides. Come onto your elbows if you want.
Harder on this side.
And then when you finish your, I did both mine, so. Okay, feels good? We're gonna relax. Okay, we're gonna stretch out our arms a little bit. So take your arm, cross it over. I want you to take your other arm and not on your elbow, but above your elbow on your bicep, or below your elbow on your forearm if you can't reach. I like to do my bicep because it's just a little bit more of an intense stretch. I'm basically holding it like a baby in that arm. And my straight arm, so yeah, straight arm, straight arm. There we go. And we're gonna reach over and just kind of press. You should feel the stretch in your shoulder, bicep. Oh, I'm sorry, your tricep. Back of your arm, back here. Just try not to put too much pressure on our joints. If you want, you can roll your wrist out at the same time. Feel wrist fluids going. All right, and we're gonna switch sides. Again, I'm rolling my wrist over here. Every time I'm breathing in, I'm encouraging the stretch to stretch further. All right, we're gonna do a tricep stretch, so I want you to bring your hand up, bend your elbow, and pat yourself on the back on the same side. Try to get, so if you're using your right hand, try to touch your right shoulder blade. Then you're gonna take your other hand and place it on your elbow. So what's important about this stretch is you're actually gonna take your elbow and you're gonna push it forward while you're taking your other hand, your opposite hand, and pulling it back. So you have sort of an opposite motion going on here. So your elbow's pushing forward, my hand's pushing back. It's gonna help you increase the stretch. Feel it? Side. Beautiful. Again, we're taking our left hand, we're patting ourselves on our left shoulder blade. My right hand is grabbing my left elbow, and I'm pulling back while my elbow's pushing forward. My feet were falling asleep. Does that happen to you?
Sometimes.
Is it like a bad circulation thing?
Oh, you just cut off your blood flow there.
Alright, we're gonna relax. Okay. We're gonna reach behind our backs. You can pick whatever hand, you're gonna clasp your fingers, just like that. And you're gonna straighten out your arms. Beautiful, just like Mom's doing. If you can, try to bring your hands up. It's gonna stretch out your chest. Ooh, you cracked. What cracked?
Shoulder.
Shoulder crack.
Snap.
Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. That's what I say in my workouts when things crack.
And your synovial fluid has air in it that gets released. Is that what you need?
Yeah. I was just talking to someone about this. When you're cracking your knuckles and stuff, it's the little fluid pockets, right?
Air in the synovial fluid. Yep.
And then when you crack them, it lets all the fluid out, right? And it like sort of
That's the air of the
lubricates.
fluid. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I misunderstood what it was.
There's fluid in your joints and it gets air in it sometimes, and when you compress it, the air comes out and it'll pop like a burp.
Burp. Alright, now we're gonna relax. Okay, we're gonna do some neck stretches. So I want you to rest your head towards the ground, put your hands on top of your head. We're not pulling down on our head, we're just letting the weight of our elbows, kind of gravity, stretch our neck out. Head. We're gonna pick a side. We're again just gonna rest our hand on our head, letting the sort of weight of our arm and elbow pull it down, but without actually using any force to pull our head down. To increase this stretch, you can take your opposite hand and sort of reach away from your body. You can swing it side to side. Try to bring it lower, Mom. towards the ground. Yeah. Do you feel a difference?
It feels stretchy.
Yeah. It doesn't, or it does?
It feels less stretchy this way.
Oh, up here than up here? Okay, we'll do that then.
This one's more.
I find that down here feels more stretchy for me. So, you can play with the height, apparently. I find that down here is more stretchy for me. Alright, we're gonna roll forward and switch sides. Again, I'm using my opposite hand to just reach down here and stretch further. Checking under my couch for monsters. None under there. Probably some puzzle pieces though.
No, there isn't.
We never lose puzzle pieces.
We have a new puzzle.
Ooh, we should do it.
Not done yet.
Maybe we should start that tonight.
It's supposed to be my day off, but I'm working.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna roll forward. We're gonna do a belly stretch and a back stretch, and then we're gonna be done. So we're gonna do cobra. So you're gonna lay on your belly. We're gonna actually start with Sphinx. So we're like on our belly. Yep. We have our elbows shoulder width apart and our hands parallel. Okay, beautiful. And you're gonna just lift up lift your chest sort of up away from the ground. And if that feels too easy and your belly is not being stretched, you can lift your elbows off the ground. You should start feeling a stretch in your belly here. And if you're still not feeling a stretch, you can walk your hands towards your hips. The closer your hands are to your body, obviously, the more stretch you're gonna get in your belly. Be careful when you're doing this stretch that you're not pinching your back. So I'm gonna turn sideways, you stay where you're at. Okay, so I can come pretty far up. So you can see sort of my back is bending pretty far backwards, and that's because I have a lot of flexibility back there and it's not bothering me. But if you do start doing this stretch and you feel your back pinching, obviously don't do that, stop that. Come back down to a lower level, okay? Come this way so I can lay my feet out. And we're gonna roll back down. And we're gonna roll onto our back. Now this one's kind of hard to show laying down, but I think I've done it with most of my clients. So you're gonna lay one foot flat, yep, and the other one bent. I'm just gonna show my mom how to do it, and then I might take the camera, if you don't mind, and do it a bird's eye view so they can see. So what you're gonna do is I want you to take the hip of your extended leg, and I want you to tuck it under your body. Yep, beautiful. Okay, you're gonna keep this foot tucked behind this knee here. Yep, and you're gonna try to keep this shoulder on the ground. I find the best way to do this is just to give yourself a little cactus arm. So bend your elbow. Yep, beautiful cactus. Okay, now you're gonna try to get this knee to touch the ground without that shoulder lifting. So you don't really have to tuck it under. You just have to tuck it behind.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yep, and then if you want to use your other hand, your opposite hand to, yep, beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bird's eye view here. Ta-da! So you can see she's got a little cactus arm. Her hand is resting on her opposite knee. I don't know how this works. Okay, yep, her foot here is tucked under her knee, or behind her knee, I should say. Her shoulder's on the ground. Beautiful. I'm gonna put you back. Oh yeah. Alright, you can relax. We're gonna do the other side. So don't forget to tuck your hip under before you start. There you go. So you want to tuck your hip under before you start because that, for a lot of women especially, men don't really have to do it as much, but a lot of women, because we have rounder and fuller hips, they kind of get in the way of the stretch. So you'll find that when you're doing this stretch without tucking your hip, it actually stretches your hip flexor on your bent knee leg more than it stretches your back. So by tucking your hip under and getting sort of that round, fleshy part of your leg out of the way, the stretch happens in your back more. Beautiful. Take a nice deep breath in.
It still does feel a lot in my hip.
Yeah. Well, your hips are tight right now too. Do you feel it in your back at all?
A little bit.
A little bit in your back. Your back's probably more flexible than your hips. I don't feel this one on my back unless I'm like almost completely twisted. You know what I mean?
Usually if I put untuck my leg and do this, it feels more like back stretch.
The reason I say to tuck your leg is because a lot of people will put their foot on the ground before they get their knee to the ground. It's hard to hold your foot up. So unless you can get your knee all the way to the ground with your leg tucked, I don't really recommend it.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna relax. You're gonna roll out of it nice and slowly. Fabulous. And we've stretched basically our whole body out. We've gotten a little movement in today. We're feeling a little more refreshed. My mom's just doing a little rolling around back stretch, which is another great little recovery stretch after you've done an intense back stretch like we just did. So she's just holding onto her knees and sort of using the ground to massage her back. If you have any questions, feel free to text me.